Welcome to Daily Meditation with Sangha Live.
So our theme this week is love's fullness. And I think it would probably be helpful before we explore that for me to share a little bit about what I mean when I use the word love. That it's, I'm referring to something much deeper and wider than the way the word is normally used, particularly in our Western culture. We usually confine it, restrict it more to relational love, particularly romantic love. So love's fullness to me is really describing the fabric of all things, the essence of all things. I often like to use the metaphor of an ocean where love is the fabric of the ocean, the water of the ocean. And then everything that arises and dissolves, the currents, the waves, the storms, the forms that come and go within that are all still created from and dissolving back into this essential nature. So it's really the thread that permeates everything. And it's also an attitude with which we can imbue everything. So what we'll be exploring this week is the full foundations of mindfulness, but through a lens where, if it were up to me, I would have translated the word sati that the Buddha used in Satipatthana Suttas, his four foundations of mindfulness. This word sati was translated as mindfulness over 100 years ago. And my preference would be the word lovefulness. Because especially in our culture, mindfulness can imply observing from the outside, as if looking in on something, as if looking down from the waves of the ocean and observing the currents and observing the body of the ocean. It could be easy for us in our culture that already exists with a sense of the mind being separate from the body, being separate from the emotions, being separate from the earth, to perpetuate that with this word mindfulness, full of mind. So lovefulness asks us instead to really enter the ocean, to feel fully with an attitude of love, which is imbued with curiosity and care and kindness, but also to feel ourselves held by the ocean. So we not only, as we practice during this week, will not only be bringing our attention to today, mindfulness of the body, bringing our attention into the body, imbuing our attention with these qualities of care and kindness and loving presence, but we'll also be making space to feel this body held in love. We not only bring our attention and loving attention into the body, we experience the way in which this body and all things are held in loving presence. And so bringing our attention imbued with love, held in love, there's a possibility also for us to experience ourselves, this body, as an expression of love. So it's much more threaded through all the way with love's presence, this great mystery that we call love. Yes, Sarah said heartfulness as well. Heartfulness, lovefulness, bodyfulness. So since today we'll be exploring mindfulness of the body, I think it would be helpful to just do a few stretches together. And simple, you can still be either seated or lying down to wake up our experience of the body. So whether you're lying down or seated, you can do this. You can interlace your fingers and press the palms away from you and reach the arms up. And if you can't straighten your elbows with the hands interlaced like this, just separate the hands and stretch the arms so that you feel the arms connected to the front, back, and sides chest. The body is inseparable from the breathing. And when we stretch the body, we really wake up the breathing. So really feel the back of the ribs, the sides of the ribs, the front of the ribs, the back chest, side chest, front chest. Waking up, breathe more deeply, breathe into that space. If you're interlacing your fingers, you can change the interlace, just move each finger over. Stretch the palms away and up. And you can try opening your mouth wide. Squeeze and stretch the skin and muscles of your face. See if there's a yawn here. Wake up the breathing a little bit. And now take a sigh or a sound. And then if you're seated, it's a little hard to do this if you're lying down, of course. If you're seated, you can bring your arms down and clasp your hands behind your back. Take your shoulders back, but keep the lower kidney ribs very broad. Have the elbows bent to begin with. Hands just clasped around your lower back, near your lower back. And then if you like, you could stretch your arms. If there's something to press your arms onto, you can even press them down and lift the chest up. Just keep the neck, the throat very soft and long. And then reach your arms around in front of you and cross one arm on top of the other. So you're really crossing the upper arms on top of each other. And some of you may be able to wrap your wrists in your hands. And you lift your elbows high and you press your forearms away and you press your arms against each other. And you breathe into the back of the heart. And let any sound come here. It might be a horse breath, which is through pursed lips. It might be a sigh. It might be a sigh. It might be a sound. And then you can change your arms. Bring the other upper arm on top. Wrap the wrists in the hands. Open your mouth wide. Squeeze and stretch the skin and muscles of your face. Make a sound, a sigh, a horse breath. Just start to wake up the breathing, wake up the body. Breathe into the back of the heart. Releasing when you're ready, giving your body a little shake. And then a twist to one side. If you're seated, if you're lying down, you could also bring your knees to the chest and drop your knees to one side so you're still twisting. And a twist to the other side. And then finally, a little side bend, feeling the side lungs open. You can support your head. Breathing into the side of the body. And to the other side. So really directing your breathing into all of these different parts of the body as we wake it up. A lot of you waking up from sleep, but also some of you, Kaz, I imagine, at the end of your day, perhaps, if I'm getting the time zones right. And this is always a time where we want to help lift bring our attention, wake up the body. So as you come to settle now into a position that feels steady and stable for you for a meditation practice, where the spine is long, the chest is open. Having woken up the body a little bit, woken up the breathing a little bit, let's start with taking a slightly longer inhalation and exhalation together. So when we take a longer inhalation, we're not bringing any tension into the body, into the shoulders, into the throat, into the face. We're simply creating more space in the rib cage, widening the diaphragm, widening the rib cage to make more space for the lungs. So when you're ready, if you can, breathing in through your nose, just slowly, slowly widening the diaphragm space, widening the rib cage space. Slowly, slowly. And when you reach your maximum, be equally slow releasing the breath, which means maintain that wider rib cage space, maintain that wide sense in your diaphragm. And control your out-breath by slowly drawing your lower belly back towards the spine. And at the end of your out-breath, simply relax the abdomen completely. And let the breathing move in and out of the belly. A relaxed abdomen as you breathe in. And the abdomen gently drawing back as you breathe out. If your breathing feels stuck anywhere in your body, feel free to make little movements. To help yourself breathe into the back or the sides or the front of the chest. Feel free to yawn if a yawn wants to come. Completely relax your face. Space between your back teeth inside your mouth. The muscles around your eyes relaxed. If there's a lot of mental activity, make lots of room for it. Like the waves at the surface of the ocean, let them have plenty of room just to roam, but choose not to surf those waves. So give them space, give them permission, and simply unhook. And gently, lovingly, return your attention to the sensations of breathing, wherever you feel them most easily in your body. It doesn't matter how many times your attention gets hijacked by familiar pathways. The practice is one of creating a pathway and strengthening a pathway of presence in the body. And this pathway of loving presence is created and strengthens every time we unhook and return. As the sensations of breathing become more forefront in your attention, begin to notice the way in which you attend. What would it mean to imbue your attention with love? To meet this breath with so much love. With curiosity and wonder as to this lifelong miracle of breathing. With deep gratitude, kindness for this breath of life, again and again. to bring love into your breathing. So that this breath itself is a breath of love. And still feeling the sensations of your body breathing. Widen your attention to include the sensations of your body in contact with the ground. This breathing body here. Inviting your attention inside these sensations of breathing and contact. Curious, caring, tender, kind. And so that when pain is present in the body, whether physical pain or emotional pain, our loving, tender, kind, curious attention naturally widens to include that too. To breathe into it, rest beside it, soften around it. And sounds are received here in the body also. Received with the same wonder and kindness. The smells of this moment are received here in the body. In this breathing, sensing, hearing, smelling body. Even the taste inside your mouth right now, received here in the body. The vision that you see behind your closed eyelids, received here in the body. All of it received with gratitude. Being in this body imbued with love. And just as much as we meet the miracle of being in this body, all our senses awake with love, imbuing this bodily moment with love. Also, feel how your body is held within love as well. Sense your body resting in a field of love. your breathing, sensing, hearing, smelling, tasting, seeing body, inseparable from this mysterious ocean of life. At home here. So that each moment, each experience, each sensation, sound, smell, taste, sight, each breath is a gift from love, is an expression of love. Your body is an expression of love, a wave in its limitless, vast expanse. each of us the same and yet uniquely different. Each body here, meditating together, breathing together, sensing together, hearing, smelling, tasting, feeling, thinking. Imbuing our experience with loving presence, remembering ourselves to be held in loving presence. Each one of us waves in love's vast expanse, uniquely different, inseparably the same. We will end with this poem by Danusha Lemaris called Feeding the Worms. Ever since I found out that earthworms have taste buds all over the delicate pink strings of their bodies, I pause dropping apple peels into the compost bin. Imagine the dark, writhing ecstasy, the sweetness of apples permeating their pores. I offer beets and parsley, avocado and melon, the feathery tops of carrots. I'd always thought theirs a menial life, eyeless and hidden, almost vulgar. Though now, it seems, they bear a pleasure so sublime, so decadent, I want to contribute however I can. Forgetting a moment my place on the menu. The poem reminds me that our perceptions are most likely incredibly different, each one of us, not only between us and earthworms and all other creatures of this world, but even between you and I, the way we sense, what we sense, what we smell, what we taste, what we see, what we hear. And yet at the same time, each of one of us is able to meet our experience with love, is able to sense ourselves held in the same field of love. And in doing so, there's a bridge that we begin to create between us. There's more allowance for the very different ways we experience reality. And this continuous regrowing of the web of love is such an important practice for us, particularly in these times, to recognize our differences and to understand our inextricable sameness.
Today's podcast is an offering to you from our archive of freely available live daily classes. We make wisdom teachings and meditations as freely available as possible to as many people as wish to practice. You can help ensure we can continue to support a worldwide Sangha by leaving a review wherever you get your podcasts, by sharing this with someone who'd be interested, and by offering a small financial support at sangha.live/donate.